Also, Leroy Evans, Terry Williams, and K-Man's Best Dancers. Lots of prizes and giveaways. Kids Talent Contest, Best Dress Competition, and much more. Held here from 5 to 9 p.m. Get your PSA, diabetes, and blood pressure check for free. It's Jamaica Independence Celebration, Friday, August 4 at the Lion Center. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Digicel, Royal Medical, Kmart, Cost You Less, Radio K-Man, Breeze FM, Cayman Airways, iCool Air Conditioning, and Cayman Hair and Beauty Supply.
And now, Radio K-Man presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter.
Radio K-Man's Business Buzz.
Here's your host,
Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome to Radio K-Man's Business Buzz. Today is July 20th. Where did the month go? First up, we will hear from 90 Degrees by JS Fashion. Come 8 o'clock, we will take a break for the news, weather and traffic. Then we will return with the second segment of the Buzz when the folks from the Central Procurement Office will join me in the studio. So glad you can join us this morning. Good morning to Silver Fox. He's holding it down at the controls today. And joining us via the telephone from 90 Degrees by JS Fashion, we have Miss Kashima Clark. Good morning, Kashima.
Good morning, Anita. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I am fabulous, thank you.
So you can't be in the studio today.
That's correct.
So I'm by my lonesome, but I have you on the line. Good to hear your voice. It's been a while. I haven't seen you around.
Yes, that's correct. It has been, hasn't it?
It's been going good. Congratulations on the business, 90 Degrees by JS Fashion. When did you get established?
Well, we got established a bit over 14 years ago. So we've been around for a while. But it's didn't initially started out as 90 Degrees by JS Fashion. So for people that has been following me for a while would have known the trend of how we got started out. So initially, the name came about from my firstborn child. Her name is Jayana, which her first four letters are Jaya, Jaya, hence JS Fashion.
I figured there had to be a child involved here. That's a great name.
So that's how the name itself came to life. And then after a couple of years and the business growth and so forth, and we established a different location, then we wanted something hot and fresh to represent the Caribbean. Oh my goodness! Been feeling the heat lately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's the heat that we bring at 90 degrees, and therefore
90 degrees of the shade.
Yes. So we initially liked 96 degrees, but then thought that might be some conflict there with that song 96 degrees. So therefore we said, you know what? Let us
leave it at 90.
90. I think that's still hot enough.
I love it. I love the name. No, I didn't even know it was your store. And it popped up on Facebook one day, and I shared it to Susan. Susan's a producer of the Business Buzz. And she made contact with you. Now, that's what we do. We see something, we see a new business, or we see a business that has not, we've not had in the studio. We'll call them in, or just you can reach out. So if you're listening, someone is listening and want to reach out, just like how you came on the show, well, via telephone this morning, they can do the same thing. Now, Kashima, what does it take to operate a business such as yours? Someone might say it's a small retail business, but we know it's not just a small retail business. What does it take to operate such a business as yours?
That is correct, Anita. One might look on and say, oh, it's a small business. But let me tell you, a lot has gone into running this business. And I can talk broadly, not just this business, but any small business is still a lot of hard work. And I think being the fact that I have day jobs and I run a small business, I can honestly say that small businesses probably takes a lot more to operate in today's world than a giant business, because if you have a large business, therefore you will have different designate. You'll have HR people, accountant, planners. You'll have someone to do different people to do different things, right?
Right.
As a small business owner, you're it. You're it. So you're the accountant, you're the planner, you're the organizer, you are the buyer, you are the administrator, you are everything. And therefore, it takes a lot. So it takes a lot of late nights. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes planning. It takes organizing. It's strategizing, which means, keeping up with the trends. It's fashion. And in today's world, it is very important to always keep trendy and so forth so you can hold on to your clientele. It has to do with budgeting, because you have to know how to take that money that you're making and make it work for you, and how much you're going to be putting back in buying goods, and you have staff, and you have other expenses, and the big chunk of it also has to do with ordering. You have to put a lot into ordering, and ordering takes a lot of time. It's not just about going online, seeing things, buying it. No. First of all, you have to know your target. You have to know your clientele. You have to know what people are asking for and so forth. You have to also look at what is wearing, just not in Cayman, because, again, we are just so small and we follow the trends mostly of the U.S. and Jamaica, so we have to watch what's going on, and then we have to travel, and then we have to order, and then we have to shape, and we have to clear and get it in the store. We have to do pricing. We have to do all of those things, and these are all the stuff that, the operation of the business takes.
Plus all your overheads as well.
Yes,
Okay. Now, who's your target market, Takashima?
So our target market is middle to and lower socioeconomic groups. People that doesn't necessarily have a lot of money to spend, and just want something cool, cute, cost effective, and so forth to wear, and that's our target market. Yeah.
Do you carry clothing for all sizes, or not just the petite ones? You got a size 12 for me, a 14 thrown in, 16.
Absolutely. Okay. So we carry in a few pieces we carry extra small, because that's where I was at one point. So of course we carry small, medium, large, extra large, double X, and triple X.
Nice.
Because we do plus sizes and we do regular sizes, and plus sizes comes from extra small to 3X, and then regular sizes from small, medium, large. And actually, Anita, we are known for like the cutest plus size clothing on island, because a lot of times that's the problem. So what we do is look for what somebody else is not doing, or what the need of the market is. So when at one point we used to bring more regular sizes, but then we would have people come in so frequently that are not within the regular sizing, small to large, and then we realized, okay, there's a market for plus size, so therefore we added that plus size to it, and we do carry a lot of plus size. And for sizes, we do both for both male and female.
And female, okay. Very good. Now, Kashima, you said you've been doing this for just about 14 years, right? That means I knew you when you were in college.
That's correct.
So that means you were working full-time, running a business, and going to school full-time.
That's correct. And a mom, and a wife, and all the other.
You're incredible. You're a phenomenal woman. Now, tell us about the growth of the business over the years and what the feedback has been like.
Oh, wow, Anita. So this story is quite interesting. So I'll tell you how I got started and how this all went down. So anybody that knows Kashima, including yourself, that I love heels. I wear just
You're quite a diva.
spectacular heels.
Fashionista.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that. I'm a bit humbled, but I love, love, love shoes, especially heels. And I used to struggle to find nice heels on Cayman Island at an affordable cost. Because if you go somewhere like Cayman Bay, you'll pay like $200 for one pair of shoe. Someone like me that just loves shoe that much and need to change my shoe every day, you will not live long enough to necessarily see me wear one pair of shoe twice in.
Are you
5
serious?
days.
I
Yep,
didn't know
that's
that.
gonna happen. Gonna happen, right? So to keep up with that, so then I was like, okay, we don't have enough not necessarily any shoe that are affordable and cute around. And that's how the idea started to come, like, okay, I need shoes. Now I started to shop a lot for myself, just for myself, and people always compliment me on my shoes, and I'm like, at some point my closet got overloaded with probably almost 100 pair of shoes.
My
and at
gosh.
that point, this hobby, I would say, by
Ishima Imelda. Okay.
it's a hobby. It's a hobby. And then what I would do, I start thinking, okay, now that my closet is almost full, what is it that I can do to continue to buy my shoes, but don't keep them? So that's how the idea of starting out started. So I started as a shoe store. So it was shoes first.
Okay.
So I started my first set of shoes that I bought. Actually, I was working at DART at the time. Even a little bit before I was working, I bought shoes, cases and cases of shoes, and I started selling shoes from home.
Wow.
But then we had what was called BBM, and I would just take the pictures and send them out on BBM. People would come by my house and pick up their shoe, and it was going great. At some point, it became too much to do at the house. People would come in and so forth. So, all right, so here's the start of the growth, right? Guess what? I need a guess. So what's the next step? The next step was I got my growth took me to my car trunk.
Listen, you're a businesswoman. You've got to do what you have to do.
I had
Entrepreneur, eh?
That's correct. I had an SUV, so I literally set up the back of my SUV with some bars in the back and hang my shoe on the bars. And when I go to work, I would take my lunchtime and go to, I think it was Cable and Wireless at that time, parking lot, and I would send out my broadcast. We'll be at Cable, the parking lot from 1 to 2 or from 12 to 1. Come by, get your shoe. As I said, it was going really great, and I started, at that point, I was doing all shoe $20 to $25, and people would just come in and buy loads of shoe or so forth. But guess what started to happen? It was going too great, so my lunch time would sometime,
Extend.
finish before I was able to get my orders out. So then I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. I'm going to lose my day job. I cannot afford to do that if I don't do something else. And then that's when officially JS a shoe store at that time, was born. I rented a little warehouse in Industrial Park. And it's the first warehouse that ever happened with a glass front, because I cut the warehouse front of the people warehouse they gave me, and I put a glass in the front. So you could actually see
inside.
The inside, and the entire place was just all shoe on the wall. It was just a cute, small place. And with the passion for growth of young Caymanian too, I just had young, very young Caymanian, like just 18, 17-year-olds used to work with me, and we used to have 3 or so that, just would rotate after school and so forth to make this business work at an inexpensive cost. Then moving again, people started to complain, if I'm getting shoes, I want clothes to go with it. It's too painful and it's too much work to come here to buy clothes and then to buy shoes, and then to get clothes. And then the idea came in because of the need of the clients that they wanted clothes. And that was how I ventured out in clothes, and therefore I had to move. And I transitioned the business from the warehouse to a proper storefront on Eastern Avenue, and that was the original, the beginning of JS Fashion.
So where are you located now?
And now we transitioned, not necessarily from, but we had, at one point we had both store. We had JS Fashion, and then we wanted a bigger space, and therefore we open 90 Degrees by JS Fashion now in town, right in the smack of town, across from the courthouse parking lot, and that is at 30 Edward Street. And
that's across from the courthouse parking lot.
Yes, that is correct.
Good, excellent location. Kishima, we've got to take a quick break. We've got to make some money too here, you know. So please stay on the line for us. We'll be right back. We're going to take that quick break and be back. Thanks to our sponsor this morning of the Business Buzz, Cayman Insurance Center, and Total Health.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Alfred Biddle Bawden, JP. Alfred Bawden was affectionately known as AB. He worked as a seaman for some years and sent money home to support his family. Upon returning from sea, he started his own business, a general store. He was also a farmer and butcher, cultivating various crops to provide for his family and help the poor, while also creating jobs for members of his community. He was elected vestryman for the District of Bordentown in 1948 and served 2 terms in the Assembly. He was one of the first merchants in Bordentown and the first in the island to obtain a liquor license. He traveled to Jamaica to sign the trade agreement to export thatch rope. A member of the Bordentown Church of God Chapel, he gave financial support to the churches of the district as well as to the less fortunate.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
How life treating you? I don't know how you do it. Traffic, errands, and don't forget work and chores. There is no time. I need to get Sarah a dental check, and Grandpa needs a checkup too.
Oh, I'm no supermom at all. But if you need all services under one roof, look no further. Try Total Health. They offer such great quality care, and we're able to work with my entire family and our busy schedule. Guess what? They are open 6 days a week and welcome walk-ins too.
Total Health at Grand Pavilion on West Bay Road. From junior's x-rays to your daughter's dental care, their suite of services encompasses diabetology, ophthalmology, gynecology, ENT, physiotherapy, pharmacy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and the list goes on. Total Health is your one-stop convenient family healthcare solution. All the services of a hospital without the hassle.
Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
7 minutes until 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Thanks to our sponsors, Cameron Insurance Center and Total Health. Joining us via telephone, we have Miss Kashima Clark. And Kashima is the owner of 90 Degrees by JS Fashion. Kashima?
Yes, I'm.
Thanks for holding on there for us while we run our commercials. Now, just walk us through, I know we don't have much time left, but just walk us through the doors of 90 Degrees by JS Fashion, and just give us some examples of the clothing you have for both men and women in the store, and if you have any items for children, as well as summer arrivals. What's trending right now?
Absolutely, Anita. So when you walk through the doors of 90 Degrees, you will be greeted by a friendly staff, just amazing, welcoming staff, and we really get personal. We don't just jump at you to try to make a sale. We create a friend first, make you feel comfortable, and then we get to the business you are here to. Customer service is extremely important to us. And again, I have learned this from earliest stage of working at DART. You make a friend, you make people comfortable before you even get into business. And that is what we still and continue to do over the years at 90 Degrees. The main items that we carry is for both men and women. Unfortunately, not yet for children, but that is somewhere in the works and making. But currently, we specialize in male and female, casual, semi-formal, formal outfits, this summer, actually, Anita, this summer coming up, tomorrow, actually, and Sunday, we will be having a spanking summer sale that will be going on. Lots of new stuff that hasn't even been put out in the store yet.
That's tomorrow and Sunday?
Yes.
You're open on Sunday?
No, just for sales. Just when we do our special sales.
Okay.
Open on Sunday.
Okay.
Right? And we, this week, Monday past, we launched a whole new set of new arrivals for summer. Lots of shorts, it's so hot, So lots of shorts, T-shirts. We have those trending handbags and all those nice stuff for both male and female that we have in store for this summer. And swimwear, we do have swimwear and so forth.
Nice.
And you asked about the trend. So trending right now, last year's obsession with things fuchsia or so forth has make the way for softer pastel takeover like pinks. And surprisingly, while black and blues are set to be it's a surprise, a standout shade trending this season with low-rise jeans and a sexy sheer top if you just want to be a little bit more sexy, shorts, pattern tees, cargo pants, those pants or skirts with those big pockets and crop tops.
Is that a cargo pants with an elastic at the bottom?
Yes, some of them have elastic at the bottom, some don't. So these are what is trending with the little crop tops and so forth. This is what is trending for the summer.
Awesome. Now, how about custom orders? Are your clients able to special order an outfit or shoes, handbag? How about that?
Absolutely. So if you want to special order something, you pop into the store, you give us a full description or idea of what you want, or if you have photo of it or you have the site or so forth, you have to make a deposit of 50%, and when it gets in, then you pay the additional 50 when it is here.
How long does it normally take?
2 weeks or so, depending on what you want.
Okay. Now, what's the importance of 90 Degrees by J.S. Fashion offering clothing that is affordable?
Well, that is a very, very important, Anita, in this market now that is so competitive, and not just on island, but also online. You know,
Correct.
the world is now so
That's right.
fast, and everybody you can shop anywhere in the world. We have to make sure that our clothing are affordable so that we will get people to buy it and they don't feel like they have to pay the entire flight when they're buying a piece of clothes. So our price point are really, really good, you know.
Very good. Now, before I let you go, because I know you have to get to work too, where you're located on, like you said, 30 Edward Street in Georgetown, across from the courthouse parking lot. Now, let's run through your opening hours.
Yes, so we are located at 30 Edward Street, across from the parking lot, as you mentioned. Our opening hours are Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Fridays, we close a little bit earlier at 6 p.m. because we're Adventists, and anything that we do it with the Lord in the midst.
Okay.
So we give the Lord that time. So we close on Friday at 6 p.m. On Saturdays, we are not open during the days. We are open only for 2 hours on Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. But I think in the next couple of weeks, we will discontinue the late night Saturdays opening.
I like that.
For security reasons.
6 to 10 is a good time to shop on a Saturday night.
Yeah, but
and it's cooler as well.
It is. So it usually be a great time, but now for security reasons, everybody, you see all what is going on now.
That's right. That's right.
Not.
Forgot that. Yes.
You know.
So you're open on Saturdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
All right. So that's Monday to Thursday 10 to 7 p.m. Fridays 10 to 6 p.m. and then Saturdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then but this Sunday you're having a sale.
That's correct.
Tomorrow and Sunday.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, Kashima, we're out of time, and it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you via telephone. Though I wish next time you'll be in the studio so we can catch up as well.
I will, because next time we will talk about our other business, OWC HR and Immigration Consultants. So
Awesome.
I'll just come in.
Awesome. Anyway, you have a wonderful day, Kashima, and good luck with your business. 90 Degrees by JS Fashion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to our sponsor, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. Don't forget, we've got the news coming up, weather, traffic, and we'll be back with our second segment. We'll be having a discussion with the folks from the Central Procurement Office.
Your Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's and Priced Right.
Summer is heating up.
And Priced Right is sizzling.
Splash down into Priced Right Sizzling Summer for a chance to dive into our prize pool worth over $2,000.
Between now and July 31st, your purchase of $100 or more gives you a chance to compete for one of 20 prize packs with the best summer electronics and home goods.
That'll be sure to keep you cool and your summer hot.
Promotion only valid at Priced Right at the Airport Center. For more info, go to fosters.ky/pricedrightsummer.
Summer better for less at Priced Right.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The recent Resembid labor market survey predicts a vibrant job markets in the short term, which will need a diverse range of skills, especially semi-skilled positions. The largest employers, according to the report, are likely to be those in hotels and tourism, ICT, and solar voltaic industries, accounting for 3/4 of the total, according to the report. There will also be new jobs in financial services, along with professional, scientific, and technical sectors. But the report by the Market Research Limited Group says there is also a misalignment between supply and demand, which will, quote, require a big effort from the government business sector, educational institutions, and other stakeholders before it's set right. Without such an effort, employers who are already concerned about the unavailability of Caymanians for their positions, quote, can't expect any meaningful change. The report recommends that all key stakeholders make a much larger effort to put strategies in place that will get Caymanians interested in and prepared for future job demands. Much more dialogue with employers is also said to be needed to identify the exact skills that would be needed while ensuring greater levels of job readiness. In view of this gap between skill sets and available Caymanians, the report suggests policymakers plan for gradual change, a sustainable transition aligning skill sets and the kind of jobs that will be available going into the future. With some quick baseball news, Cayman's under-12 baseball team is at the Babe Ruth Caribbean Championships in Nassau this week. Little League coach Bill Souza tells Radio Cayman action is underway this hour.
Our first game here at 8 o'clock this morning, we're playing against Bahamas. Later on this afternoon, we're going to be playing against Jamaica. Some of the other teams in our pool are Cuba and the Netherlands. We play them tomorrow. This is a great tournament the Bahamas has started to put on, inviting different Caribbean nations to represent their countries here on the ball field. The winner of this tournament goes on to the Babe Ruth World Series in Branson, Missouri, just in a few weeks. Did a couple weeks of tryouts to select our team. And that's how we ended up with the 14 young men that we have here today, ages 11 and 12 years old for the 12U tournament. The guys are looking great this morning, even though we had the early game and got in late. They all look like they're excited and ready to play.
Cayman sent a 12-person team. And the power company is hosting a special event next week.
CUC is inviting contractors to attend a free contractor and subcontractor health, safety, and environment workshop on July 26 at the Grand Cayman Marriott Beach Resort from 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m.
CUC's Jessica Pollack tells Radio Cayman the workshop will focus on safety knowledge in the field, personal protective equipment, vegetative management, and will offer information on CUC's core program.
Please RSVP to Victoria Powery by email vpowery@cuc.ky to reserve your spot today.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Kersley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. The Women's Football World Cup has opened with New Zealand beating Norway 1-0. It was New Zealand's first ever win in a World Cup. Co-hosts Australia also won by a goal to 0 against the Republic of Ireland in Sydney. India's Supreme Court says it's deeply disturbed by alleged sexual assaults on women in Manipur state during ethnic violence there in May. Footage on social media appears to show 2 women from an ethnic minority being paraded naked by a mob. Iraq has expelled the Swedish ambassador in Baghdad as a dispute over the recent burning of the Quran in Stockholm intensifies. Sweden has described the overnight storming of its embassy in Baghdad as completely unacceptable. There have been more Russian missile and drone strikes on cities in Ukraine. Odessa was targeted for the 3rd night since Russia pulled out of the Black Sea grain deal. The number of police officers killed in a suicide attack in northwest Pakistan has risen to 4. Officials say 2 men detonated explosives in front of a government compound in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Prominent international rights advocates have called on the UN to intervene urgently to stop the execution of a boxing champion in Iran. The death sentence has been confirmed for Mohammed Javad Vafei Sani, who was arrested over 3 years ago for taking part in anti-government protests. BBC News with Debbie Russ.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Town. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. Why replace when you can respray? At Granite Express Cayman, we can completely transform your old kitchen cabinets with a fresh kitchen respray for just a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. Big news! Our summer special promo is here. We are offering kitchen countertop specials up to 50 square feet installed for only $1,595 CI for granite and $1,895 for quartz. We can make your dream kitchen come true and at a price to suit all budgets. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate, friendly service, fast installation. Hurry! Limited time only while supplies last. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com.
The Commission for Standards in Public Life reminds all persons subject to the Standards in Public Life Act that they are required to submit their annual declarations by no later than Sunday, the 30th of July.
To determine if you are required under the Act to submit a declaration, visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky/register of interest.
Again, the deadline for submissions of declarations to the Register of Interest via the online portal in accordance with the Standards in Public Life Act is Sunday, the 30th of July.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Hey, good morning, Cayman. Just about 9 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's check your latest weather. Compliments of our friends at CG Britcay. Present temperature 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Partially cloudy on the outside. Some showers expected. Winds out of the east-northeast at 17 miles per hour. Even though it's 86, it feels a bit warmer than that. Feels like about 92. Relative humidity 77%. Last night's low temperature was at 84, and the barometric pressure is at 29.97 inches and holding. Isolated thunderstorms are expected to continue through this evening as a trough drifts across the Western Caribbean. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 60% chance of showers and thunder. Showers may become locally heavy at times. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index of 105. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts in and around showers. Seas will be moderate at wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Looking at tonight, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 40% chance of showers and thunder. Temperatures will fall to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts in and around showers. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. High tide is coming up at 10:57. It's going to be low at 4:54 and high at 11:33 tonight. Sunset at 7:04. And the outlook is for similar weather conditions through Friday afternoon with a decrease in showers thereafter as the trough drifts west of our area. And that, my friends, is your latest weather. Compliments of our good friends at CG Britcay.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving our goals is rewarding, but at times can feel frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, look at the big picture. What is most important to you? When you are successful, how will your life be different? These questions can help you define what success means to you. Are you dreaming of owning your own business, getting a significant promotion, or running a marathon? These values will guide the goals you set for your future life. Being able to envision your values in action will make them feel real and near.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, my friends, quickly taking a look at the traffic situation in the Georgetown areas. Free flow traffic, Shedden Road, traffic flowing smoothly, similar along Edward Street, heading up to North Church Street. And of course, continuing on to West Bay Road. And of course, traffic coming through the eastern districts flowing smoothly, looking out at the east-west arterial. Shamrock Road, the traffic flowing good. A little bit of traffic congestion along Crew Road and the Linford Pearson Highway. If you're going through South Sound, free flow of traffic, not much traffic to contend with. And of course, once turning up Walker's Road, it's a little bit of a slow-paced traffic, but it's moving smoothly, similar along South Church Street. Of course, looking at the Butterfield roundabouts, traffic is expected in that vicinity with slow-moving traffic coming off the Esley Tibbets. Similar with our traffic flowing onto Godfrey Nixon Road. North Sound Road, a bit congested this time of the morning. And of course, traffic coming off Thomas Russell Way heading northward bound, slow moving, but once you get onto the Esley Tibbets, you got free flow of traffic. West Bay looking fair to find, and along, looking down from the Ritz-Carlton, traffic flowing into Georgetown, smooth as ever. Of course, we have a bit of congestion as well as on Bobby Thompson Way and Huldah Avenue as expected, but of course will dissipate as the morning progresses. Your traffic reports brought to you by a good friend at Subway. If you don't feel like making breakfast, you can always grab a Subway breakfast at a Subway outlet nearest you.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Where is that number again? Aha! Here it is. 945-2290.
Hello, welcome to Chicken Country Corner, Savannah. How may I help you?
Oh, hi. A friend of mine told me that you have a special on Tuesdays and Wednesdays on your award-winning Caribbean wood roasted chicken. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., you can buy a breast and wing dinner and get another one for half price.
Hey, that's an awesome deal. I'm coming right over to Chicken.
Buy a breast and wing dinner and get one half off is on. Only at the Chicken Savannah location. Call 945-2290. That's 945-2290.
I think I'm gonna search the town and get lost with a girl who can fill me right up with her charm.
Friends of Jamich presents a fundraising beach barbecue on Wednesday, July 26th at Coral Beach. Live music by J.R. Douglas,
Tropical Days,
High Tide,
Musical Crew,
DJ Alec, Mixmaster,
DJ Martino.
Gates open at 4 p.m. till 11 p.m. 2 for 1 happy hour, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Proudly sponsored by
The Caymanian Times, Monster Media, Radio Cayman, Young Blood Production, Coral Beach.
Part proceeds in aid of Jamich Cancer Recovery.
Radio Cayman News.
One man is dead following a collision on the sister island. We see the increased amount of non-communicable diseases. That's your diabetes, your hypertension that leads to other issues.
We encourage the public to be very, very vigilant.
Cabinet approves major cash injections to cover medical costs.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Business Buzz. Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz, second segment. And it's 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're taking it up to 9 o'clock this morning. And we have a fun group just joining me in the studio. It's a heavy subject, but it's a fun group. Now, we have in the studio from the Central Procurement Office, CPO, we have Mr. Tariq Bashir. He's the director. Mr. Robert Tatum, he's a deputy director, acting deputy director, and the only female besides myself in the room is Miss Christina Smith. Christina is a procurement manager. Good morning and welcome to the Business Buzz.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we want to say thank you to Victor for putting this together. Victor, can you hear me? You should be sitting in here, but we'll let you out. All right? Next time you won't get away. No. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I should let you introduce yourself, you know. That's what I should have done. Make you
did
introduce
a wonderful
yourself.
job.
You know how to sweet talk your way out of this, Robert. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it still, because so listeners can recognize the voices. So, Robert, starting with you, what exactly do you do over at the Central Procurement Office?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Robert Tatum, Acting Deputy Director for the Central Procurement Office. My main role is to make the director look good, as we discussed in the break. But other than that, we mostly deal with the strategic direction of public procurement, making sure that our templates, our methods, our laws, regulations are up to date and fit for purpose, as well as day-to-day operations in terms of reviewing other people's documents, compliance checks, things like that, to try to keep...
And a lot of transparency.
And making sure the principles of procurement are met, yes. One of which is transparency.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the Business Buzz. Let's move to the director, Mr. Tariq Bashir. Good morning again, Tariq.
Good morning, Anita. And as Robert said, I don't do very much in the procurement office because my team do such a fantastic job.
Well, you probably do a good job leading.
I try, yeah.
Okay.
So all the good stuff comes out from my team. And we have Robert and Christina here. There's two members that are not here. Victor's just outside. And we also have Jarrell. He's got an injury at the moment, so he can't make it.
Okay.
So my job, as you say, is to lead the team and to lead the function, I guess, the public procurement function, which sits within the Central Procurement Office. And our job is to lead that function for the public sector, and also to support businesses and suppliers that are going to be bidding for government contracts and government tenders. So we help, I guess as an office, our job is to help a lot of people, public procurement committees, entity procurement committees, public procurement practitioners as well. So that's me. That's my job.
You. Christina.
Good morning.
Good morning again.
How are you, Anita?
I am fine.
Okay, so my name is Christina Smith. I'm the procurement manager. And again, as my colleagues have said, we provide project support and guidance to all of the public entities, SAGCs, and monitoring compliance, and reporting, and the various functions of operations of the Central Procurement Office.
Okay, no, very good. Now, who can give us some background information on how the Central Procurement Office was started?
Yeah, I can start with that, Anita.
Okay, no problem.
We don't want to go back too far, but there was an audit carried out by the Office of the Auditor General, and they had a number of findings. And some of the things that they talked about was that they wanted to improve governance, they wanted to improve transparency, and they wanted to improve the competition for the bids that are coming in. They wanted to improve how procurement is reported, and they wanted to improve value for money. And they wanted to introduce a number of different procurement methods as well. And they suggested that we have a code of conduct, and also how to support local business development as well. So on the back of that, our Honourable Deputy Governor, Franz Madison, he set up a working group to set up a framework for public procurement. And from that, they created a working party as well. And out of that working party, there was a number of recommendations, one of which was to set up the Central Procurement Office. There were a number of other things around creating a new law, new regulations as well. So without digging too much into history, so the report was produced in January 2015, and then in August 2015, Cabinet granted approval for the adoption of the report and most of the recommendations in there. And the first director, was appointed in February 2015. That was my predecessor.
Okay.
And then I arrived here in 2018.
Took control. In fine style. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So that's the background around how the office was set up.
So we now have the procurement law or regulation. What do you?
Yeah, we have both. So in 2016, there's a lot of historical stuff going on here now. Cabinet approved the procurement law, which is now the Procurement Act.
Okay.
And then usually the way this works is the regulations have to be produced, which are more prescriptive in terms of how things are done to follow the law. And the regulations were finalized in 2018. And in May 2018, both the Act and the regulations were enacted, effectively brought into force.
Okay.
So it's quite a young, public procurement, the public procurement law. These are all quite young things, really. 5-6 years we've been going through this process.
Okay. Throughout the world, do governments have this sort of system? Procurement system, is that what you call it?
Yeah. It depends on how well developed those countries are. So my background is from the UK, so the European Union had quite a lot of development in their regulations and laws, and a lot of the European countries, they would have followed the EU laws and regulations. So the US and the developed countries are quite well advanced, and then the less developed countries are not so well advanced. And when I attend, I guess the Americas conferences, workshops, Cayman Islands is quite well advanced as far as the Caribbean region is concerned, and we should be pleased and happy.
Should be proud of that.
Well, I'm proud,
yeah,
absolutely,
very proud
of the fact that we're one of the better countries in a lot of those areas that we can cover later.
Robert, you want to add something to that? I see you got a look. You want to put your hand up.
No, he did a wonderful job.
No, okay. Well, what exactly is public procurement, and what are some of the core principles of procurement?
Yeah, so I can start with that as well. Hopefully, I'm not hogging all the conversation, but everybody will have a chance to contribute. So we can start with maybe just a general definition about what procurement is. And we all of us, we buy things. That's what procurement is about. So for government, it's that act of, or the process of buying goods, which are things, services.
Can I stop you for 1 second, Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
But we shop around.
We do.
So does the government shop around as well?
They do,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
we buy goods, services, and works for infrastructure, for buildings, building the school, for example. And there's a process that you would, as a business or as an organisation, go through. So first of all, you need to do your planning. You know, what is it that you need to buy? How do you need to go about buying it? Then you determine what the standards are of what you're going to buy, what the specification is. So if you're buying a vehicle, you need to understand, you know, whether you're buying a small vehicle or a large vehicle. And then you will do some research around, you know, who are the suppliers that can provide these goods or services or these works. And you might do some value analysis that says, is this the best thing that we're going to buy? And you'll think about your budget, your financing, where's the money going to come from? How much money do we have? It's no good trying to buy a Rolls Royce. Do we have any Rolls Royces in the Cayman Islands? If you only have enough money.
I think I've seen a couple.
If you only have enough money to buy a Ford, for example. Mm-hmm. So then you go through the act of negotiation, and then you make the purchase. And then if it's a service or a delivery of goods, you then have to manage that contract to make sure that what you contracted with the supplier, those goods and services and works, they're delivered as you contracted with them to deliver them.
That's right.
So we go through that process, and you might do some inventory control, stock control in that. So that's what procurement is, like general procurement. And when we talk about public procurement, we're talking about government expenditure. So our government here in the Cayman Islands, we call it procurement influenceable spend, and it's quite a lot of money. It's about $500 million a year. So this money is public money. So if you're in a company or organization, that money belongs to that company or that organization. But with public procurement, we're spending the money that belongs to the Cayman Islands, to the people and the businesses of the Cayman Islands. So we have to be more diligent. We have to be more specific in the processes that we follow. And we need to do things in a way where we have transparency, so people can see what we're doing, and they understand how their money is spent. We need to follow processes that have integrity and some honesty. And we need to follow processes where we say, you know, we're going to do what we said we were going to do. So if we're going to say we're buying a Ford, we don't go out and buy a Rolls Royce, for example. So the process has to have integrity. We need to be open. So when we're going to buy things, we need to make sure that all the suppliers that can bid, they can see what the opportunities are. And then we need to treat all the bidders fairly. So we can't award contracts to certain people, to people that we like, for example. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that everybody that's on the island that has an ability to deliver those goods and services, they have an opportunity to bid for those contracts. And one of the things we're trying to do is we're trying to also make sure that we have some competition, and it's through competition that you deliver, that you can generate and have some confidence that you're delivering good value for money. And then we're accountable. Mm-hmm. So, public servants that carry the procurement process, we're accountable for the actions that we take. And we're open to scrutiny, for example. So they're the principles that most developed countries will follow, and we do here as well.
Okay. On that note, while that sinks in, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Thanks to our sponsor this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
I think I'm gonna search the town and get lost with a girl who can fill me right up with her charm.
Friends of Jamich presents a fundraising beach barbecue on Wednesday, July 26th at Coral Beach. Live music by J.R. Douglas.
Tropical Days.
High Tide.
Musical Crew.
DJ Alec. Mixmaster.
DJ Martino.
Gates open at 4 p.m. till 11 p.m. 2 for 1 happy hour, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Proudly sponsored by
The Caymanian Time, Monster Media, Radio Cayman, Young Blood Production, Coral Beach.
Part proceeds in aid of Jamich cancer recovery.
We are in the hurricane season, and knowing what to do after a hurricane can be as important as preparing for the storm. After the passage of a hurricane, seek medical attention if it is needed at hospitals and clinics for those persons who are injured. Do not touch power lines and cables that are down. They may be active. Report them to 911 or the utilities emergency hotlines. Broken tree limbs should be removed from around homes or buildings if possible. This hurricane information has been brought to you by Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
Business Boss. Business Boss with your host, Anita Khan.
From the Central Procurement Office, CPO, our guest in studio are Mr. Tariq Bashir, he's a director. We have Mr. Robert Tatum, he's an acting deputy director, and Ms. Christina Smith, she is one of the procurement manager over at CPO. Now, we just had a look at the definition of what is public procurement and some of the core principles. Now, what is the role of the CPO in all of this?
Okay, I can take that question.
Go ahead, whoever. Just jump in there.
Okay,
and have fun.
Thanks for that, Anita. So we've touched on how the Central Procurement Office was set up, and we've got quite a wide role, which we said. And I'm going to run through, like a list of stuff that we do. So one of the roles that we have is to develop the public procurement regulations. So the law and the Act was introduced in 2018, and during that time, we've had two, amendments to those. So our job, we don't, the Central Procurement Office doesn't approve the laws and the regulations. That's the role of Cabinet and the members of Parliament. But clearly, we're at the deep end. We're in the roots, in the weeds, doing all this stuff. And if we find that there's something that needs improving or changing, we'll make a recommendation to Cabinet, and then it's up to them to make a decision to whether they approve it or not.
So you have two amendments so far?
Just a couple, and we're working on a third one.
Okay.
So if we find there's something that needs changing, we'll make a list, and then when we think the list is sufficient enough, or other people will raise things with us. So, and anybody's allowed to do that. So, for example, the Attorney General, he said, we're not happy about this little bit. Can we think about if we can change it? And we'll talk to them. And if we think it's appropriate, then we'll put that in the recommendations. We do a lot of training. So last year, we delivered like 20 training modules to a number of different people. Typically, our training is attended by 15 to 20 people. So last year we would have delivered some trainings to like 400 people. Oh. So because we said earlier on, part of our role is to help to develop the whole of the public procurement sector in terms of its capacity and its capability to get good outcomes from procurement. We have a role, and some of our roles are actually set out in the Public Procurement Act. So one of our jobs is to make sure that the acts and the regulations and the policies and the procedures are accessible. So we have a website, and anybody, it's a website that's open to anybody in the world. So anybody, if we're talking specifically about Cayman, anybody from Cayman can go and look on our website, and they will see the acts and the regulations and the policies and the procedures. and all the other documents.
It's a well put together website. I have to tell you. I had to look this morning and I could have stayed on there for a while. Very interesting.
Oh, nice. Thanks. Thank you, Anita.
Very welcome.
It's www.procure.gov.ky if anyone's interested.
Yep, easy.
And then we have to, so we've talked about laws and regulations, and part of our job is to monitor how the public procurement process is being carried out. So we monitor to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we have our own means and methods as to how we do that. One of our jobs that's listed in the Procurement Act is to implement a code of conduct, which we have. And that code of conduct talks about things like conflicts of interests, how you deal with those conflicts of interests, and it talks about, you know, the values that we're supposed to adhere to and expected behaviours. So how people are supposed to conduct themselves, both suppliers and government practitioners, through a public procurement process. We have a role to make sure that there are reporting mechanisms in place. And we do that through, and Christine will talk about this later on, through something called Bonfire that we have. Bonfire. And then we do some government-wide contracts that we set up as well. And we generate statistics and provide statistics, and we do an annual report, which is also on our website. So people can have a look as to, you know, what activities we've been doing each year. And we have a role to advise many people, including entity procurement committees and public procurement committees and suppliers. If they need some help, we'll advise them as well.
Okay. Now that sounds like a whole lot. And like I said, the website is very, very informative. As someone who just wanted to have a look because you guys were coming in, but if I had to, if I had to put forward a tender to the CPO, you know, all the information I think is there that I would need. Now, when you say training, the training is with regards to, say, your suppliers knowing how to work the process. What's the training about? If you, Robert?
Well, yeah. So training is one of my babies.
Okay.
In the
all right.
Central Procurement Office. So we have a lot of trainings. The development of the office took a lot of time internally just to get the the government officers that would be carrying out procurement up to speed with what's required. And a lot of those trainings are public. They are also available on our website under the events tab, and they're actually joinable by the public. So you can see what we're telling our folks to do and how they should be carrying out the process. And that training is sometimes quite technical in terms of process, how to complete a tender document, things like that, how to navigate the process from beginning to end. Some of it is around the principles and the ethics. So it's not always technical. Some of it's, a bit more ethical. The one thing about the acts and regulations is you can't write them for every eventuality, which is why the principles guide us. Where we can't find something in black and white, essentially, how do you deal with that situation? So all the trainings we do are actually publicly available unless they're requested from a specific entity for their own purposes. But anything the CPO puts on is available to both the public and our internal folks. And like I said, it's available. We do them via Zoom, so you can access them from anywhere in the world. And they're normally about, and depending on the content, anywhere between an hour to 2 hours. We know this stuff can get a little dry sometimes, depending on what we're talking about. So we try to keep it short and sweet.
I see your passion there, Robert. Now, bring us up to speed on how your department is making strides with regards to public procurement.
So when we think about strides, we normally try to match those to an issue so that our efforts are based in fixing other people's problems or their concerns or their misconceptions. So some of the strides we've implemented and accomplished are the e-procurement platform, which Christine will touch on in a bit more detail later on, but it's called Bonfire. But that's just the brand of the platform. In essence, it's an e-procurement platform. There's multiple of those in the world. We use that for advertising. And that in itself is quite a stride to have something like that implemented. Not every country has something like that. in the region, much less other places. So that's when Tarek mentioned that, Cayman's quite advanced, and when we talk to our partners in the region, a lot of them are coming to us to talk about how we implemented that. So that was one of the big strides. We've had that in place for a while, but it is a tool to help us, and that tool continues to evolve. So where that tool was in 2016, for example, or 2018, it's much more advanced in itself to where we are now. The transparency factor, so that's one of the things we run into quite a bit with people saying, "No, this isn't transparent." We would consider it a misconception, but I guess misconceptions are based on each person's experience, and bonfires help us put that aside. So mostly because those projects are required to be posted there once they hit a certain value, that value being $100,000 in total contract value. So it's not an annual spend.
Right.
So you can have contracts on there, everything from $100,000 over 5 years to $1 million in 6 months. It doesn't really make a difference over what time span that money is being spent. So that's one of the major things we've done in terms of strides. The regulations themselves gave the vendors quite a bit of authority in the process. So when they request certain things, we have to give it to them, such as a debriefing. So if they're unsuccessful and they request a debriefing, we have to provide them that debriefing to help them understand why they were unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. They're also required to get a regret letter, which states not only that they were unsuccessful, but who was successful and how much their bid was.
Otherwise, you'll have 500 FOIs, right?
Yeah, correct. So we try to be as upfront as possible so that debriefings aren't even required. Mm-hmm. But if you need more information, and we try to focus that around how you can do better next time. But it's also to help people understand the outcome. If they don't initially accept it, or the information in the regret letter isn't really enough. But just giving us that obligation to do these sort of things were significant strides from where we started, for sure.
I have so many questions besides what you have here. Now, you mentioned misconceptions. What, Robert, are some of the misconceptions about the CPO?
I wouldn't say so much the CPO as the whole procurement process. There may be some misconceptions about us as well.
No.
But I would say one of the main ones in my life before procurement and my life after, the main one I think you'll hear is about predetermined outcomes. Mm-hmm. Right? There's always, what's the point in bidding because there's someone's already selected. In our current process, we have to list the evaluation criteria in the tender documents. So what we're requesting, how you'll be graded. If you take a look at our templates, which are public documents as well as the guidance in those templates, you'll see that we break down our scoring into 3 different categories. Pricing is only one element. And I would say typically that's another misconception, is that every government procurement is we just take the cheapest price. There is a quality assessment in every case. So that is not correct either. It's not to say that some procurements don't choose the cheapest price, but there is still a bar set. We would call that
parts of quality.
Correct. The pass-fail criteria. You still have to meet a certain quality before we even get to pricing. Some of the other misconceptions are around our access to that information, and this is again something that Bonfire has helped us with significantly. If you submit through Bonfire, we cannot access your submission until the deadline has passed, and even after that deadline has passed, that information is segmented. So for instance, we can't see your pricing as soon as the deadline has passed. That information is still sealed away from us until we're done the rest of the process, which is very important because that pricing is normally scored on a fixed formula, which means that the scoring for that isn't controlled by us. It's based on all of the inputs from the vendors. So because that element of control is removed from the government, it really does help move away from this idea of predetermined outcomes, because that is not something we can control. The vendors input the information and your score is based on a fixed formula.
Okay. Silver Fox is signaling for a break, so we're going to take that break, but keep Bonfire in mind when we come back.
How life treating you? I don't know how you do it. Traffic, errands, and don't forget work and chores. There is no time. I need to get Sarah a dental check, and Grandpa needs a checkup too.
Oh, I'm no supermom at all. But if you need all services under one roof, look no further. Try Total Health. They offer such great quality care, and we're able to work with my entire family and our busy schedule. Guess what? They are open 6 days a week and welcome walk-ins too.
Total Health at Grand Pavilion on West Bay Road. From junior's x-rays to your daughter's dental care, their suite of services encompasses diabetology, ophthalmology, gynecology, ENT, physiotherapy, pharmacy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and the list goes on. Total Health is your one-stop convenient family healthcare solution. All the services of a hospital without the hassle.
Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
Yo, big up Massive. Summer is here and Digicel got the vibes flowing straight to Jamaica. That's right, me people. Digicel has a sizzling offer for you. Top up for your loved ones in a Jamaica and you get a chance to win the ultimate trip to the land of sun, sea and good vibes. To enter for the free trip to Jamaica, just send top up to your loved ones back home with Digicel and you automatically qualify. Remember, the more top up you send, the higher the chance you win. So make sure you don't miss out on the fun. Me people, get the summer vibes flowing with a top up for your loved ones with Digicel and get ready for a trip of a lifetime.
Are you an entrepreneur with a groundbreaking idea? It's time to launch your startup and access the ultimate springboard to success. Introducing Launch Labs Incubator by Enterprise Cayman. Ignite your potential and get pitch ready for angel investment. Tap into the Cayman Enterprise City Network and vibrant community of like-minded innovators. During this 12-week program, access expert advisors in a collaborative co-work environment. No cost to participate thanks to CEC. All startups encouraged to apply. Visit enterprisecayman.com for details and don't miss the August 1st deadline.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio. Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop, dancehall, urban gospel. The Super Jam Show is brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, SIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by
Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
Also brought to you by Superior Auto Center. Do it right the first time with Superior Auto.
949-9570
or 525-9571.
Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by
Yum School Lunch Program. Now available at selected private and public schools across Grand Cayman.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Super Jam. Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
And as usual, time flies when you're having fun. So we have in the studio this morning, if you missed the first part of the segment, the Central Procurement Office, CPO. And in the studio, we have the director, Mr. Tariq Bashir. Alongside him, we have the acting deputy director, Mr. Robert Tatum, and Ms. Christina Smith, procurement manager. She's going to talk about bonfire. She's waiting her turn, but we want to just head back to Robert. Robert, you had something to clear up about those misconceptions. Another, and just one small one.
Yeah, just wanted to add one final point, and that's normally around, small companies can't compete. So one of the things we hear all the time is, it's always a large company that gets these contracts, and either small companies don't have a chance. And that's not correct. So the stuff on bonfire tends to be slightly higher value, but there's also smaller value tenders where it's most suitable for a small company. But even the larger tenders, what we want to make clear is there's some tenders that we put out that may be very large value in total, but some of those are broken up, what we would call a project disaggregation, which means that you can bid on specific parts of the project instead of having to do the entire thing. So it's very important that the smaller vendors read through the documents and see if that project is set up in that way, that they can kind of pick and choose what it is they're interested in submitting on. The other is that you have to go it alone or you have to do it yourself. We're happy to accept partnerships and subcontracting, that sort of thing. So if you're a small company and you can't do it by yourself, reach out to another small company or a larger company and see if you could partner and make a submission as well. So
that's a great idea.
Something we want to encourage, so that people don't just look at it and say, "Oh, I can't do it," and get discouraged and put it down.
Okay, great idea. Thank you, Robert. We'll head over to Miss Christina. Christina, can you explain to the listeners and, of course, our viewers about the online platform, Bonfire? Bonfire takes me to East End, as I mentioned earlier, but this is not East End.
Absolutely. So Bonfire is our electronic procurement system, and it's used for advertising. So that's where the publication of all bidding opportunities are posted. The bidder communication happens there as well on those specific projects, and then the evaluation of those projects once the deadline closes, and we go through our internal process. And of course, at the end of that, you have your reporting on the results of those projects. So you have what is called the notice of award, and that's the publication of who the successful vendor is and the pricing information.
Is there a login for that, or you just go right into it?
So on the portal for the public, they're going to see all the public opportunities. For suppliers, they have section in there that they can register, and that way they can receive information on upcoming bid opportunities that are relevant to their respective organization. And then just continue on about the benefits of Bonfire. You know, it streamlines the administrative process. So we're reducing or replacing manual systems from paper-based to paperless. So their efficiency is there. And as the electronic procurement tool is available, that maximizes efficiencies again with our process. And then, of course, it also helps us with the monitoring compliance of the Act to ensure those public entities are adhering to the various
Is it easy
parts
to navigate?
Of the process. Absolutely. The steps are very easy in terms of if the vendor is registering. It's just a few steps. They provide their organization name, their name, email.
So basically, who's the target for market for our audience for Bonfire?
So again, I think we spoke about small businesses, right. So it is available to all all persons. Whoever's interested, whether that's local suppliers or international suppliers, everyone can tap into that system and see what the government is planning in terms of purchasing.
Now, invitation to tender. But before we get to that, I've noticed on your website you have methods of supply, which is open competition, direct award, and thresholds. Most people would be interested in your open competition, correct? What's it? My question. This is from me to understand. What is a direct award?
So a direct award, which is actually covered under Regulation 5, for those people that like to go and see it for themselves, it is essentially a non-competitive process.
Okay.
And so why I mention Regulation 5 is because you can see the conditions under which a direct award is allowed. So the old system, I would say, or the pre-regulation system would have just been, you make your own justification and see if it's accepted. Under the new system, there are criteria that have to be met. You still have to do a justification under those criteria, but it's a lot more rigid. And that is not the primary position of the government. So the primary position is open competition. If one of those criteria apply, then it's up to that particular entity to justify why that is the case. Other people may know it as like a sole source or a single source. You may hear those words sometimes. But it's referred to as a direct award in our process.
Okay. So if, say, you're just buying 500 reams of paper, that is, you don't have to have a bidding war on that.
But that is a competitive product, so there's no reason not to have a competition for that. Certain things like that, our office actually has what we call a framework in place. So we've done the competition for the government essentially and selected a preferred supplier so that there are some administrative efficiencies. We don't want every single department having to go try and find the best price for their own paper. So we take those commodities essentially into our central procurement system. It's more so things that are very specific to a specific vendor, so they may have some sort of exclusive supply arrangement or something along those lines, where there is genuinely no other source of legitimate supply for those items. But like I said, there's a whole host of reasons why a direct award may be applicable, and for those viewers that would like to know what they are.
Boy, Robert, you have an answer for everything. No doubt about that. No, going back to Christina,
Absolutely.
Bonfire. Is there anything else you want to add about what Bonfire can
No,
do?
I think we covered everything. So
Okay.
just considering time, you were asking the question, what is the invitation to tender? So just wanted to confirm, that's the first step in the competitive process, and that's where we invite suppliers to participate, to submit a bid for a good service or works. And then the request for proposal, of course, is that document that contains the scope of work, the evaluation criteria, timeline, and rules.
Okay.
And so since we're going to be back, we'll just do part two.
She
continue.
Okay. Now, what should small businesses bear in mind when they're trying to obtain that government contract?
You want to take this one?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so we want to make sure you're registered on Bonfire. So the first step is registering. Everything is free to view on Bonfire and publicly available without registering, but you have to register to make a submission. So make sure you're registered. If you're registered, you'll get notifications. Also, the CPO website has what we call a procurement plan issued, which is procurements that are not yet on Bonfire, things that are coming up that you may be interested in. And there's contact information in there that you can get in touch with them to see, has this been done already? Has it been delayed? These sort of things. You can keep yourself up to date. One of the tips we normally give is try to make Bonfire one of your home pages. As soon as you open your browser, Bonfire pops up. It makes it easier just to browse immediately, right? If you can look through the news every morning, you can look through these opportunities. That'll give you a chance to expand your business.
I absolutely agree. If I had a small business, I'll be on there just like that. What's some of the other ways that the CPO that you guys are doing to ensure that the public is kept informed about all things procurement?
So again, I think started out earlier talking about our website, and it's very easy to navigate. All of the information is there, the act, the regs, the templates, our policies and procedures, all the guidance documents, and of course we use social media. So we have LinkedIn and Facebook as a mechanism of pushing out information, and then the last tool is Bonfire, where all those public opportunities for what the government is planning to purchase.
Okay.
And just because whilst Victor's listening, I just want to make sure that we've mentioned social media, because social media is Victor's baby. He's leading on the social media aspects for
I think he'll be happy.
procurement.
And then, of course, we're here today. So.
Okay, well, hopefully we can have you back in, because I'm pretty sure I know there's a lot more that we have to cover. Like who's compliant, who's not compliant, and the whole 9 yards. So, and Robert has got all those answered, and of course everybody else. But just want to say thank you so much for being in the studio this morning. Appreciate it. Anything you would like to leave with our listeners this morning?
I think just from our point of view, thank you to you as well, Anita, for having us, and to make our information available to the public of the Cayman Islands. We're here to help, so if anybody needs any help, feel free to reach out to us, have a look at the website. But thank you very much.
And so that's www.procure.gov.ky. We have a contact page if you need any other information.
And it's a great website.
Awesome.
Make sure you get on it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. And of course, thanks to our guests in the studio, our viewers, our listeners, producer of The Buzz, Miss Susan Watson, and for Silver Fox, holding it on this morning nicely. Until Tuesday, July 25th, we bring another Business Buzz. Please stay safe. From me, your host, Anita Can. Goodbye.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333